Hey guys, if you refer back to my previous videos on the server 1, 2 and 3, it's under collection within my page. So if you go into collection, the server, you'll find it. So what we did was we installed a fresh server on a machine, and then we did the local server setup, as in the local settings we set up, like we gave it a name and we set up a static IP address. So the machine was ready. Then we went into manage at the right top, and then we added roles and features. For example, in this case, we added Active Directory domain services. So this machine has become a domain controller now. And also we added DHCP, so we can assign IP addresses to the devices. And DNS was added automatically, plus we created some file share. If you refer back to my videos, you will see it. So it's time that we move on now. Okay, what's next? So when we install these roles and features, system automatically added some tools if you go into tools at the right top, like for example, Active Directory users and computers, or if you go further down, you will find group policy management, which is really important, which we'll cover in our future videos. But today, let's stick to, for all the young students, let's stick to setting up a new user on the server. So let's come back to this video. Don't worry about too many things in it. Just look at my pen where I'm pointing. So the server we set up ADDS, Active Directory Domain Services, Identity, DHCP, file share, and group policy. Yeah, these are the things being set up on the server, but we need to cover them. And also we've seen that devices on the same network, doesn't matter if they're connected using Ethernet or Wi-Fi, we need to join these devices to the server using the domain credential or domain admin. So we need to make sure these devices are connected to the domain by going into system properties and connect to the domain, putting the username and password for the domain admin, and that's it. So now let's try to create a user in Active Directory. So one of these machines, they can dial in and they can log into it. So if I go into tools at the top and find Active Directory users and computers, or you can search for it as well within the server. If you just type in user, it would come up. It will bring you in here. So we haven't made any changes yet. These are the default users in there. Like, you know, when you install the server, it creates certain users. Like, for example, the admin one is the one we created, but all other users and groups, they were created by the server. So we don't need to touch that. They like default username and password, so username for certain services. So what we do, if we look at the left, we see the domain right at the top, which is TikTok, the local, which we created. That became a domain controller. Under that, these are the default OUs, which is organizational units, yeah, or just the folders, yeah. So it's got users in there as well, and users got all the default users in there. So now I need to create a user for my business, like with this TikTok business. So I don't want to use this user folder or user OU, if you like, because it has got default users in it. So what I'll do, I'll create a new OU, and then I'll create my user in there. So if I right click on the domain, just like this, and go under new and select organizational unit, which is OU, which is an OU, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it, let's call it TikTok business. Okay. So once that's done, okay, so we just give it a name first. And leave that box ticked, which means you can't delete it accidentally. If you just, it will give you a warning. So that OU is there now. So under that OU, let me create another OU, and I'll call it users or TikTok users. The reason I'm doing this is to get organized. So in future, when I need to push out the group policy, I can just target certain OUs rather than the main other OUs where other things are already there. So this way you can manage it better. So that's all done. So then I right click on the new folder or in the empty space, and I say new user, and I'm gonna give it a first name and last name, So I just put in Dan and then cloud, and d.cloud is a username, and the rest we can leave it as it is. We go next and we do right. So yep, we put in the details, and next it should ask for a password. So, and this domain is the domain, which is a domain controller. Okay, so it's automatically set. Let's go next, and we're gonna set up a password. So let me try to put in like a really easy password in, just to keep things easy. And I go next. Right, so I try to finish it. It doesn't like that password, you see. So by default, the system has created certain policies for the password, where the password needs to be like not less than 8 characters, 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase. So it has kicked in. So just to show you guys that I can't have easy password in there. So, and now I'll put in the right password, as in a tricky one, and I'm gonna go next and finish. So this way I created a user which is in there, and now if I right click and go into properties, I can add members to it, I can add like a batch file to it, and I can do certain things to it, which we should do in the next video. But this was just the basic to give you an idea that how you create a user and where you create it and what OU is. And next we should cover the security groups and the group policies. So far we've learned like quite a few basic things, especially you should